Y'all, you will see a question like this on your quiz tomorrow. Plain and simple. You'll see a question like this. This is question number 10. Very similar on your quiz. Yes, ma'am.
Is there only one question?
You'll see a question like this, number 10 on your quiz. Here we go.
Only one.
So, grouping symbols, exponents, multiply, divide is together, add and subtract is together. We do those from left to right. So Holly was saying, hey, we're doing grouping symbols first. Do we do what's inside there first? Yes. You keep doing inside parentheses until you can't do any more. When I ask you to show work, I want to see the steps. The more work you show, the more credit I can give you. So we do 5 minus 3. That's 2. I bring everything else down. Notice I haven't done anything else. Is there anything else to do to a 2 inside the parentheses? There's nothing else. We can't do anything to that 2. So now we start to look outside of those parentheses. Are there exponents?
Yeah.
Yes. So all I'm doing is the exponent. That is 4. So I rewrite 36 divided by 4 parenthesis 2 plus 12. Okay, so we've done grouping symbols. We've done exponents. Now we're on multiply and divide. We do multiplication and division from left to right. Again, we do multiplication and division from left to right. How do we do multiplication and division?
Left to right.
From left to right. So what comes first if we're moving left to right?
Division.
Division comes first. Here you go, sir. Or you can just sit at Mr. Gall's desk. He's not in here. Okay? Division, left to right. So we're doing 36 divided by 4. And notice how I'm just doing those two. I'm bringing those down. Use your calculator. 36 divided by 4 is what? 9. Okay? A lot of you are going to make that mistake immediately. I bet most of you did 4 times 2 and then tried to divide 36 by 8. You need to do multiplication and division. How? Left to right. Okay? So now we're here. What comes next? Are we adding 2 plus 12?
No.
What do we do next?
Times.
Multiply from left to right, because that's still step 3. 9 in this parenthesis means multiply. So now we have 9 multiplied by 2, which is 18. Bring everything else down. Notice how each step I'm doing one thing. Yes, Isabel?
Wait, so when you subtracted 5 minus 3, it turned into multiplication? Because I thought it...
No, ma'am. It didn't turn into multiplication. 5 minus 3 is 2. Whenever we have a number smack dab up against a parenthesis, it means multiplication.
Yeah, so then you're left with 2, so wouldn't it be 9 plus 2? Like, you turned it into multiplication.
It's in parentheses. There's a number next to the parenthesis. There's a number next to the parenthesis. There's a number still next to the parenthesis. Always means multiplication. That doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Do you see a plus sign anywhere in between this number and this?
No, but...
Even when we do 36 divided by 4, do you see a plus sign?
No.
So that's saying we're getting this number and we're still multiplying it to whatever's there. You can't just add a plus sign in there wherever you want. Okay? You just have to keep doing the steps, and whatever it is going to stay next to that parenthesis. Has to. Okay? So again, remember how I talked about Genesis verse 3, 6 days God created everything, 7th day he rested. If he didn't follow those exact operations, there'd be like a cheetah just kind of dancing in the air if there wasn't ground for him to stand on, right? Order of operations. We have to do it in this specific order. We can't just add whatever we want into it. It has to be the order that's there. Okay? And we're going to do another one, I promise. So now we have 18 plus 12, which is 30. What questions do we have here? Yes, ma'am.
Wait. But like you just like subtracted and you're left with 2.
Correct. In parentheses.
Yeah, but you didn't multiply the first time because it's 5 minus.
Inside the parentheses is telling me to do subtraction, and we did that. The parentheses themselves mean there's something multiplied by that parenthesis.
Yeah, but 5 minus 3 is positive 2, so isn't it like plus 2?
I don't have to put a plus 2. If I just showed you this number, 7.
Yeah.
What kind of 7 is it? Positive or negative?
Positive.
Do I need to put a plus with it?
No.
So you don't have to put the plus unless you are adding. Okay? We don't have to put that plus with it. There's no pluses that need to be there.
So it turned into multiplication. You subtracted and now it's multiplication.
This is always multiplication. The way that I would read this is 36 divided by 2 squared times 5 minus 3 plus 12.
Yeah.
So I'm not turning it into multiplication. It's already multiplication. 2 squared times 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. It's still 36 divided by 2 squared times 2. It hasn't changed for multiplication. It's always been multiplication. Okay? I will show you another one. That's all I can say right now, is we'll do another one. Okay? Yes?
How'd you get the 4?
What's 2 squared? What is 2 multiplied by itself? 4. Okay, and your calculator does it. If you do 2x squared, it will give you 4. Okay? So right now, get out your homework. Your homework was page 26. We did 4 through 15, and we did most of these in class. Okay, so page 26, numbers 4 through 15. Beautiful.
Like, I had a Bible so I was holding it, so I was trying to focus on it. Like, what? Oh, I tried to, but I shouldn't have been instead.
What was it?
Okay, so you need to finish the bill. 4 through 15 on page 26.
Yeah. What page is it?
Page 26. Okay, so those of you who don't have it, you can still turn it in. I want you to turn it in. And if you need help, I'm available. Okay? When am I available? Well, let's see. I'm available before school, starting at 6:50. I'm available after school until about 3:30 or 3:45. I am available during C lunch. Right? So I need y'all, if you need some help on them, or you're only able to get through certain ones, I need you to ask for some help, okay? Because during class time, I've got to teach you the material. I'm here, I want to help you. Any luck?
I know it's somewhere in here. I think it's just a little bit behind somewhere.
Here we go, number 4. You're going to see a question like one of these on your test, on your quiz. Number 4 is 17, so let's focus on our work. Make sure if you missed it, mark it so that you can ask for some help. So number 4 is 17. Number 5 is 11. Number 6 is 10. Number 7 is negative 11. Number 8 is negative 11. So both 7 and 8 are negative 11. So for those of you who didn't finish it, you might want to write the answers down so that way you can show your work and make sure you're getting them right. Still good practice for the quiz. Number 9 is 49. Number 10 is 14. Number 11 is negative 144. Number 12 is negative 13. 13 is 29. 14 I'm going to do, but it is 21. And 15 is negative 3. So I want to do number 14, because I think this will help Isabella. And then if you have questions, ask. That way we can go over them. Okay. 14 says, so for some of you who didn't do them, this might be a great way to get some of them done. Okay, not a very long problem. Not a very long problem. 5 plus 4 times negative 3 plus 7. What do we do first?
Parentheses.
The grouping symbols, right? The parentheses. In the parentheses, we have negative 3 plus 7. If you plug that into your calculator, negative 3 plus 7, it gives us positive 4. We bring everything else down. Isabella, what's my next step? So we did grouping symbols, or they're exponents? Is there multiplication and division?
There's parentheses.
Okay, so there's a number smack dab up against the parenthesis. What does that mean? Okay, so it's 4 multiplied by 4. So I'm taking this number and I'm multiplying those two. So that's 16. Did I touch this plus sign? So it comes down. So now I have 5 plus 16. That's where the plus comes from in this case, because we didn't touch it. And that gives me 21. Okay, questions there? For those of you who did it all, or those of you who only did a couple, what questions do you have?
Number 4, number 10.
Number 10, sure. Okay, number 10 says 27 minus 3 squared plus 8 divided by negative 2. Okay. Grouping symbols. Is there anything to do to this negative 2 in the grouping symbol?
No.
Nope. So there's nothing to do there. Okay? So now we go to the next step, exponents. And you should have your notes on this because you have those 4 steps. Exponents. What's my exponent, Olivia? 3 to the what? Second. Yep. What's 3 squared? Well, 3 squared 3 times 3 is 9. And all I did was bring everything else down. Okay? Remember, we're trying to make those tornadoes. We're making those funnel clouds. Okay? What comes next? Multiplication and? And we do this from?
Left to right.
Left to right. Subtraction, addition, division. So now I have 27 minus 9 plus, what's 8 divided by negative 2?
4. Oh. Negative 4.
Negative 4. And I put that in parentheses to show that it's a negative. Okay, so now we're at adding and subtracting. We do adding and subtracting from
Left to right.
left to right. 27 minus 9 is 18 plus a negative 4. So use your calculator. 18 plus a negative 4 gives me 14. Who asked for that one? Holly, was that you?
Yeah.
Do you see where you made your mistake?
Yeah.
Do you need me to try to explain a little bit differently? Okay. Questions? So here's what I want you to do. We are reviewing for the quiz. Get a blank piece of paper out so that you can say quiz review. And I'm going to put questions exactly like what you're going to see on the quiz as part of our review. You're going to have like 2 minutes to do 2 questions. So again, get out a blank piece of paper so that you guys can have just a section for quiz review. That way, remember, you're able to use your notes, you're able to use your book, you're able to use your homework, any worksheets on the quiz. Okay, so your first 2 questions on the quiz may or may not look like this. Okay, so there's your 2 questions. This is what we're starting with. Okay, so write them down. We've been doing warm-ups like these already. Get your calculator. Try to do these 2 questions. Okay, if you can show work, great. If you can't, okay. Try these 2 questions. Let the calculator be your friend. You have to know how to use that tool. So you want to use the calculator. I'm seeing some people put number 1 exactly the way it is with parentheses and everything. Great! Let the tool do the work for you. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Minus a negative 21. It's telling you it's minus. About 30 seconds, because I want to get through at least half this quiz. But I will post videos from all of the other classes too of their reviews. So period 2 made it through 9 of the 10 questions. So I'll post that video. If you want to watch it, go for it. That way you can see what's on the quiz. That's everything we've been doing on the warm-ups. Okay, so everybody get your calculator. Everybody get your calculator, clear it out. Let's learn how to use our tool. Some of you put it all in and got an answer, which is great if you do it correctly, because then you'll get the right answer. But if you do it wrong and you just put an answer, I can't give you partial credit, because you're just showing me an answer that's wrong. So what would I do? So everybody get your calculator. Right now, in your calculator, press -7 minus 23. Maris, what do we get?
-30.
-30. Then I only bring down my next thing, which is a positive -8. So let's do that. Do -30 plus a -8. -38. Bring down.
I thought we're doing the thing where we like what the parentheses.
There's nothing to do inside the parentheses. It's just -21.
I know,
It's just
but
a number.
I thought we like times it 8, -8.
So this is just an addition and subtraction problem. So we work from left to right. Okay? So now I have this minus a -21. So in your calculator, do -38 minus a -21.
-17.
-17. Okay? If you do this all step by step by step, I can see what you're doing. So if you miss it, I can give you partial credit. What questions do we have on number 1? It's an adding and subtracting problem.
Wait, do we subtract?
So a minus a negative turns it into a, yep, so it would really be -38 plus 21. But if you use your calculator, you can plug it in directly how it is, and you don't have to think about changing it to a positive or anything like that. Okay, I'm trying to teach you how to use the tool, because that's going to be very important for algebra. Okay? Number 2. I don't think any of you are writing this out longhand and trying to do it. Everybody get your calculator. Put in negative 1 and 26 divided by 3/10. And that's going to give me
0 or negative 0.42.
Not negative 4.2.
okay, so you divided it by 3.
Yeah.
It's not a 3, it's a 0.3.
0.
Okay, so we get negative 4 and what?
2.
4 and 2/10. Negative 4 and 2/10. Who has questions on either of these? Anybody's? Okay. May I erase? Do we have these? If you don't know how to use your calculator, if you're getting something different, now's the time to ask. That's why we're doing this review. Okay. So I have negative 12 and 87/100 minus 37 and 2/1000. And number 4, negative 1/4 multiplied by 2/14. Notice how I'm numbering them 3 and 4. This is going to be like your questions on the quiz. These are all from previous warm-ups, previous classes, so if you need to go back in your notes to look, that's going to be important. Why? Because you're able to use your notes, you're able to use your warm-ups. This is why I kind of remind you guys over and over, hey, if you get a binder and have a section for just your warm-ups, a section for your homework, a section for your notes, it'll be real easy to find everything. Like have little tabs, have them in the right place. I know that I'm just an old man trying to give you advice, but I'm trying. Listen, it could be an older man trying to give you advice, not naming any names that are in the classroom. Actually, I think we might be the same age. 73? So be careful. Be careful there, Olivia.
I'm better swearing this semester.
I'm here. Close. You're down the hallway.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Get your calculator. Again, the tool is your best friend. This is simply a subtraction problem. In your calculator, we're going to do negative 12 and 87/100 minus 37 and 2/1000. And we get a decimal that looks like this. Negative 49 and 872 thousandths. What questions do we have there? Okay, now for number 4. Couple different ways we can do this. If you want to, we know this is multiplication. When we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerator multiplied by the numerator, the denominator multiplied by the denominator. If we multiply a negative times a positive, what do we get? Negative. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 14, use your calculator. 6, carry the 1. 56. Is this my answer? How do we change? So everybody's calculator is a little bit different. How do we change this fraction to a simplified fraction? Who remembers? Go ahead.
We have to divide.
So let's do that. Take negative 2 divided by 56 in your calculator. Press enter. You get a decimal. How do we change the decimal to a fraction? Second PRB. And we should get negative 1, and I think that should be 28.
Yeah.
What questions do we have on those? Now, there's another way to do this. So I'm going to use, let's see yours. Okay, so I'm putting this on the video. Here's another way to do this. I can put in -1 divided by 4 multiplied by 2 divided by 14. I press equals and I get a decimal. Okay? Second PRB, press enter. And it still gives me the correct fraction. You can physically put in exactly what it says. -1/4 multiplied by 2/14. Your calculator does the work if you know how to put it in correctly. Are there questions on 3 and or 4? Okay, what was number 5? Let's see. Going back to the quiz.
What was it about algebra?
No, not right now. In a second. Okay. Let's go -3/20 plus 1/5, and number 6, 8 to the 19th multiplied by x to the 19th multiplied by x to the 40th. Go ahead and do these. So number 5 is a little bit different than what we've already done. I'm gonna get a phone call here soon. I forgot to do the payments. Let's see if I can beat the phone call. Yes. Okay. No. Okay, so let's do number 5. I do this a little bit differently. Okay? Where's my red marker? Here it is. I'm going to break it down to decimals. I do -3 divided by 20. And that gives me -15/100 plus 1 divided by 5 gives me 2/10. So all I've done was change those to decimals because a fraction is a division problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so I changed it. Now I'm going to add. So -15/100 plus 2/10 gives me 5/100.
Wait, what happened to the negative?
When I add those, it gives me a positive 5/100. Negative, so let's do this. -0.15 plus 0.2. It's positive.
Yeah, but it's a positive and a negative.
We're not multiplying. That's only for multiplication. So now I go second PRB.
Wait, how did you get the decimals?
I divided them. I did -3 divided by 20. Because fractions are division problems. So now I have 0.05. Second PRB. Okay, not on this one. This is second table. And I get 1/20. Many of you did it different ways and still got 1/20. As long as you know how to use your calculator, you're good. So again, I divide them and change them to fractions. Okay, if that's not how you did it, but you still got 1/20th. Great. Your calculator does it many different ways. This one, there is no, you can't use a calculator and substitute in an x. We are multiplying like bases. What is the like base, Riley? What letter?
X.
The x's are the same. We keep the x when we're multiplying like bases, and we do what with the exponents? Add them. We add the 19 and the 40. That leaves me with x to the 59th. Okay? There is a page in your notes, or there should be, talking about exponent rules. We spent 2 days just talking about exponent rules. So you might want to have a page dedicated to exponent rules that you can find. Because if there's no calculator tricks, there's nothing, you have to know what to do. When multiplying like bases, we keep the base, we add the exponents. When multiplying like bases, we keep the base, we add the exponents. Okay, and that's what it says in your notes. It's called the product property. Questions on these? Okay. We're going to do 3. X to the 20th divided by x to the 6th. Number 8 is, oh man, x to the 10th to the 12th. And number 9 is the square root of 225. So I love that Maris has her square root chart out. You can find that with number 9. You have a chart I've given you. You can use that. But 7 and 8, you should have a page dedicated to your exponent rules. That way you can go back and look at those exponent rules and say, what am I doing here? Well, there's division. Which one is that? And it scares me that none of you are flipping back and forth right now to your notes.
Do I have these ones?
Those
I'm
are-
still writing down.
Do I add 20 and 6 too? Or do I?
So I want you to, can you find your exponent rules in your notes? So I want you to utilize your notes to find this, okay? Because me telling you how to do it isn't the same as you being able to research in your own stuff, because you're allowed to use your own notes on the quiz. You should have a page in your notes talking about exponents. Or go to your warm-ups, because we've done something very similar to all of these before. This is not the first time that we're seeing them. Go that way. Nice and wide. So go behind, pull your desk back a little bit, Olivia. That way you can sneak in that way, you're not the camera. Or,
Am I in
come
it?
on,
She's not.
go ahead.
Oh.
So again, everybody should have this chart, these 2 charts. I gave everybody one of these. So number 9 shouldn't even need a calculator. All you need is your perfect square chart or your perfect cube chart. I gave those for you to keep.
Can we use those on the quiz?
Yes, ma'am. Everything that you have, every note, every homework, every book that you have right there, you can use on the quiz.
Okay.
Okay, number 7. The first thing we should do is rewrite it as a
Fraction.
fraction. X to the 20th divided by x to the 6th. When we are dividing like bases, we keep the base and we do what with the exponents?
The third time. Multiply.
Not multiply.
What?
Huh? Not add.
Subtract.
Subtract. So multiplication is add, division is subtract. 20 minus 6 is 14. We have x to the 14th. I'm telling you right now that you need to go back and rewatch the videos on exponents and take some good notes. Some of y'all might not have good notes on exponents. So go back and rewatch those videos so that you have the notes. Number 8. This is the power property. A power raised to another power. When we have that, we do what? What do we do with the exponents? Multiply them. We keep the base. We multiply 12 times 10, which gives me 120. And number 9, you have your chart.
Oh wait, I did that right. Never mind.
Good. What is the square root of 225? So Maris, you have your chart. Look on your chart for me. Find 225 on the screen. 15. That's it. 15 multiplied by 15 is 225. There is one more question on your quiz, and it is order of operations. I am available after school, before school at 6:50, and during sea lunch. If you want help and you have life prep during second hour, I have an algebra class second hour. They're going to be quizzing, which means I can work with you. Please let me help you. Are there any questions?